my story. It's a little bit of a long one, but isn't that the case with all of us who have PoTS? I started to have funny symptoms about the age of 13, so I'm 29 now. So I'd be having like really funny headaches that would only go away when I lay down. I was like passing out a lot, feeling lightheaded all the time, and it obviously just wasn't normal me. I was really active at school, never kind of was off sick or anything like that, so it was kind of really uncommon for me. So I started going to the doctor. I remember the first doctor's appointment, she said, well, just take paracetamol every time you have a headache. And I thought, that's going to be about 30 times a day then, so that's not going to help me. And I would go back and they just couldn't find what was wrong with me. The word PoTS was never even mentioned. Anything autoimmune wasn't mentioned. I just kept going back for blood tests, nothing was coming up. And I remember just always being at the doctor's, and it was almost like they were just waiting for me to say, oh, I just think it's anxiety or something like that. But it just wasn't. As you know, there was something in me that thought, I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely something. And that's what they kind of came down to, that, oh, it's just anxiety. We're going to get you to speak to a therapist. And I went to this therapist and I just thought, there's something, you're not listening, like you're not hearing me. I just completely felt totally not heard. And almost as if they were kind of wanting me to say, yeah, it's anxiety, just to kind of get me out the door and away. So obviously I probably went to the doctor for about 2 years, got absolutely nowhere. They were just coming up with the same thing, and I just thought, no, this isn't it. So kind of from the age of 15 to about 25, or no, a bit earlier than that, 24, I kind of thought, this is me. This is something that I've created in my brain. I'm making myself feel this way. Why does no one else seem to struggle with the very normal things that I want to do, like go for a walk up a hill or get up in the morning and not feel like I'm going to pass out? So that had a massive effect on, obviously, anxiety anyway, because I thought, I'm making myself feel this way. And also, why does everyone feel this way, but I'm just too weak to be able to deal with it? So that obviously had a massive effect on confidence and self-esteem, and just wanting to feel like, I hate the word normal, but like a normal human being able to do normal things. So I spent kind of 10 years just trying to get on, always with this feeling of something's wrong with me, but I've just kind of got to push past it because the doctor said, it's just anxiety, so that's all that it is, and I'm wrong for thinking it's anything else. And then really randomly, my mum came across a video on Facebook, and this woman was talking about this thing called PoTS, and she listed every single symptom I had, and I was like, that's what I've got, that's what it is. So obviously went back to the doctor and said, this is what I think I've got, blah blah blah, and they said, yeah, that's what we think you got. And I just thought, why did no one mention anything like that 10, 12 years prior? Anyway, that's life, isn't it? So I started at the time when I kind of found out what PoTS was and everything. Weirdly, at the same time, I had wanted to start meditating because I just had all these symptoms and I wanted to find a way just to feel a little bit calmer with it all. I always felt kind of in this constant state of stress and worry, because I was always thinking, well, what if I go do this and I pass out? Or like, my biggest fear is like passing out in front of people or in public and strangers have got to help me or something, just silly things like that are very real, logical fears to us. But I wouldn't want to go places or do things because of this fear that, what if this happens to me? I think it's that sense of like loss of control, and you feel like you're on your own. So I had kind of got sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and wanted to find something to like calm my system down. So started going to meditation classes, loved it. The first one I went to, it was just like this moment of complete peace, and that I didn't need to be anyone. I just didn't need to be my symptoms. I could just kind of push all that aside for 10 minutes and just feel calm and still. And it was so nice. I just hadn't had that feeling for so many years. So as soon as that happened, I knew this is my thing that's going to help me. So I was meditating for about 3 years. Absolutely loved it. Really helped me with the symptoms, because I think when you've got PoTS, you suddenly think that your like personality is PoTS because it affects everything in your life. And when I was meditating, I could like put PoTS to the side and just feel like it was me without those symptoms. So absolutely loved it. Really helped me kind of calm myself down whenever I could feel that spike of a symptom kind of coming up and my body kind of going into fight or flight or freeze. So loved it. Did that for about 3 years, then thought, I want to do this as a job, because I just love it that much. So did all my study, went on my courses, got my qualification, and then started in 2019 working one-on-one with people. And then obviously 2020 hit, and we all know what happened there, COVID. So the past year I've kind of gone online helping clients, and then I thought, you know what, I'd really love to help people specifically with PoTS, or to be honest, any autoimmune where you kind of feel that you haven't been listened to and you haven't been heard. And obviously because it's invisible, people kind of think, oh, like I always used to get, oh my God, but you look so normal and healthy and fit. And it's like, yeah, because I've been masking symptoms for how many years. And then you just get on with it, don't you? So for anyone who kind of hasn't felt heard or listened to, and that has caused a lot of stress and anxiety in the body, this is going to be a place to just come home to yourself and sit with yourself without having to be that person who has what feels like all of these things wrong. It is just a safe space to be still and feel calm. So that's my story. I mean, it's probably longer than that, but that's just a little snapshot. And I'm just really excited to be able to offer this. So this, obviously on this Facebook page, we're going to be doing guided meditations, kind of things that have helped me feel a little bit better. And now I obviously still have PoTS, and I definitely have days where I kind of feel much more low or lack of energy, but it doesn't affect me as much as it did. And I think that comes from obviously finding out what was actually going on, and starting meditation was kind of the catalyst for then I started to think about, okay, well, what's my diet look like, and what's my exercise look like, and what's my mindset after all these years of not knowing what's going on. Like, no wonder I feel like this. So it's not to say meditation cures PoTS or anything like that, but it definitely was kind of the domino effect for me to feeling, I want to say 90% better than I did. So now I can kind of get on with doing stuff, and I feel much more confident in, if I can't do something, I'm able to vocalize it and say, guys, I'm having a bit of a, harder day today, I'm not going to be able to do that, or this is the way I feel like this, and that it doesn't feel like so shameful or embarrassing anymore, because I know what's going on. There's a logical reason for it, so why would I feel embarrassed or shameful about that? So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. It's just going to be really nice to see how people who want to start meditation or mindfulness, how it helps them. And it's just a really lovely safe space to do that. So thanks for joining, and I'll pop up a meditation in the next few days for our first one together, and let me know how you get on with it. So thanks again, be well, and I'll see you again soon.